Okay, let's get into this because, with all the news coming out of these big trials, sometimes a specific detail just it grabs you.
Absolutely. It cuts through everything else. And we definitely saw that this week with Cassie's testimony.
We really did. In Diddy's federal sex trafficking trial, no less.
Yeah.
And the claim that really made us stop and say, wait, what? Came from reporting by Complex, Hip Hop DX.
Right. Covering her testimony on Tuesday.
She alleged under oath that Diddy once stopped what she called a freak-off. Her words.
Yes, important to note that. Her term.
Stopped this freak-off specifically to go and confront Suge Knight at Mel's Diner in Los Angeles.
I mean, just hearing that, Mel's Diner, Suge Knight, it immediately throws you back, doesn't it?
It completely does. You've got these incredibly serious federal charges, this whole intense trial environment.
And then, boom, this anecdote pops up that links directly back to, well, arguably one of the most infamous feuds in music history, Diddy and Suge.
It's like a collision of two completely different but equally intense worlds. So for you listening, that's our mission today. We're going to unpack this specific claim.
Yeah, look at Cassie's actual account, dig into that Diddy Suge history a bit, because you kind of have to.
You really do. And then think about what this weird little moment, this alleged diner run, might actually signify.
Because it's not just, random gossip. If you think about the context of the trial, this detail, as strange as it sounds...
It could offer a glimpse, couldn't it, into the alleged power dynamics, the decision-making around Diddy back then.
Exactly. This seemingly impulsive act, if it happened, as she described, could say a lot about maybe a sense of impunity, prioritizing old scores over the person right there with him.
Suggests a world where, ego and these old beasts could just suddenly take over everything else.
Okay, so let's look at the specifics. What did Cassie actually say happened?
According to the reports, NBC Intercity Press covered it too. They were at one of Diddy's LA homes, and she used the term freak-off, which in this context apparently refers to some kind of sexual gathering.
Okay.
And then, just out of the blue, apparently, Diddy says Suge Knight is at Mel's Diner, and they needed to go. Now.
Wow. The abruptness, going from that kind of situation to Suge Knight at Mel's Diner, that's quite a shift.
A massive shift. And Cassie's reaction, this is where it gets really intense. She testified she was screaming and crying, "Please don't do anything stupid."
Oh, man.
Yeah. I didn't know what they were going to do. And then she added, "It's like I wasn't even there."
That feeling of just being invisible, completely disregarded while she's terrified, that's powerful testimony.
It really lands, doesn't it? The panic she describes, pleading with him, and then just feeling like she didn't matter in that moment.
It certainly paints a picture of a potentially volatile situation and, a profound lack of concern for her feelings or safety, if true.
Absolutely. It seems to highlight that power imbalance she's describing throughout her testimony. Her fear just apparently brushed aside for this need to go confront Suge.
And did they actually confront him? Do we know?
Well, that's the thing. The reports are clear. It's actually unconfirmed if Diddy even saw Suge at the diner.
Oh, okay.
Or what happened if he did. And apparently Diddy didn't say anything about it when he got back, just silence.
So it just hangs there, this unresolved potential confrontation. Was it a real threat? Was it posturing? We don't know.
Exactly. So many questions. Was it a genuine security issue? A power play? Something else? We just have her account of the lead up and the aftermath.
And of course, as the articles mention, you can bet Diddy's lawyers are going to question her memory of all this very closely during cross-examination.
No doubt. Okay, so why Mel's Diner? Why Suge Knight? To get why this is even a thing, we need to rewind way back.
Yeah, back to the 90s. The whole East Coast versus West Coast rap rivalry. That's the backdrop here.
Definitely. Diddy's Bad Boy Records representing the East Coast sound, really dominating it.
And Suge Knight's Death Row Records doing the same for the West Coast. They were the giants, the figureheads.
And it wasn't just music competition, was it? It felt much deeper, much more personal and regional.
Oh, absolutely. It was cultural, geographical, and tragically, it got tangled up in real violence.
You mean with the deaths of their biggest stars? Tupac from Death Row in '96.
And then the Notorious B.I.G. from Bad Boy just months later in '97.
Those murders just cemented the animosity, didn't they? Cast this incredibly long, dark shadow over everything.
A devastating period. And understanding that history, that level of tension and loss.
It makes Cassie's alleged fear, her screaming and crying about Diddy going to confront Suge Knight, of all people, make a lot more sense, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. The stakes felt incredibly high back then, and that history lingers.
Right. Now let's jump forward. Because Suge Knight even though he's in prison now.
Serving that 28-year sentence, yeah.
He hasn't exactly been quiet about Diddy's current situation. After those federal raids on Diddy's homes back in March 2025, Suge had things to say.
He did. He's got that podcast, Collect Call with Suge Night. He used that platform, I think, back in September 2024.
Yeah, that sounds right. And some of his comments were interesting. He said, it was a bad day for hip-hop, for the culture,
Yeah.
black people. Basically saying if one looks bad, everyone looks bad.
Almost sounding conciliatory, or at least like he was looking at the bigger picture. He also said it's definitely nothing to cheer about.
Yeah, initially it sounds kind of measured, maybe even a little sympathetic, but then it shifts.
Yeah.
He follows up with something much more pointed. He says, quote, "But I'll tell you what, Puffy, your life is in danger."
Whoa. Okay, that's a different tone entirely.
Totally different. He even claims Diddy knows the secrets, and because of that, they're going to get you if they can. They being unspecified, of course.
Because that's ominous, the secrets.
Yeah.
And the direct warning. It suggests Suge believes there's, well, a lot more going on behind the scenes.
For sure. But then just to make it even more confusing.
Because it wasn't confusing enough.
Right. Hip Hop DX pointed out that in that 2B documentary, the TMZ one about Diddy's downfall, Suge actually expressed some sympathy there. Mentioned Diddy's kids, the damage to hip hop's image, said things like, "I'm not the type of guy to cheer for other people's downfall."
Huh. So a warning on his podcast, but sympathy in the documentary. That's complex.
It really is. He even said he prefers to resolve things directly, sit down in a room and resolve it, which, given their history.
Feels a bit ironic. But maybe prison changes your perspective. Or maybe it's just Suge being Suge. Hard to say.
Could be. And then there's that weird bit of prison advice he gave Diddy.
Oh, yeah, about
standing up pieing versus squatting.
Yeah.
And telling him not to go by brother love inside.
Right. That was bizarre. Like prison yard advice mixed with a dig at Diddy's old nickname.
Exactly. It's just this strange blend of threats, sympathy, street code, and personal jabs. All coming from Suge, from prison, about Diddy.
So you've got this incredibly deep, often violent historical rivalry.
Yeah.
These recent kind of contradictory statements from Suge.
Warnings 1 minute, sympathy the next.
And it all crashes into Cassie's testimony about this specific, frankly weird, alleged incident at Mel's Diner.
All while Diddy's facing these extremely serious racketeering and sex trafficking charges with potential life in prison.
It just highlights how tangled everything is. The past, the present, the personal, the legal, it's all interconnected.
So let's just circle back. Cassie's testimony gives us this picture. Diddy, allegedly, abruptly interrupts an intimate moment.
Driven by the need to potentially confront his arch-rival at a diner.
We don't know if the confrontation even happened, and Suge's recent words are this mix of veiled threats and unexpected empathy.
Leaving us with that surreal image, Diddy possibly driving off, leaving Cassie distraught to face Suge Knight at Mel's. It's strained, but also maybe revealing.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? About all the layers, the history, the egos, the power dynamics, the legal storm.
Yeah.
How does this one anecdote dropped into the middle of this huge trial change how you see the people involved? How does it fit into the larger story of fame, power, and consequences in that world?
And you have to wonder, right? If this one bizarre, almost unbelievable story came out in testimony.
What else is still under the surface? What other unexpected moments might come to light as this trial goes on?
It definitely keeps you watching, that's for sure. There's just so much history packed into that one alleged detour to a diner.